Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ebony Championship Wrestling, where we hit the mat running with all things WWE. We deep dive all the biggest moments, hottest rivalries, and give the boldest predictions in pro wrestling. Tonight, we give our bad blood reactions. I tell you what scuffs my Timbs, and the boys talk about color in the WWE. The boys are here, the final boss is back, and this is the ECW show. Let's get it.
Welcome to the Ebony Championship Wrestling Show. It's your boy, the man of 100 holes, the man with the X's and O's, Coach Montay 24. In this segment, I want to give a special shout out to the VIP Promotions. It's a small indie wrestling promotion down here in Dallas that celebrated their 10th anniversary with a hell of a show called Setting the Bar. Myself, Jackie, and the Wise Man, we had an amazing time checking it out this past weekend. It was the first time I had a chance to experience this type of wrestling show in a small town hall lodge setting, with the beer and the excitement. And it was definitely a great time had by all. That card was stacked with solid men's and women's talent they all had great matches. It was headlined by our boy Lou Gotti, Bo Amir, Brick Savage, Exodus Prime, JD Godfrey, Homicide, and Maya World. Now, Maya World, she stole the show with Danny O'Ryan in an awesome intergender match that did not disappoint. Maya also had the opportunity to wrestle on AEW Collision if you hadn't seen it. And she's definitely a force to be reckoned with in that ring. And she's building her brand every day. The women's match we seen between Alejandra Quintanilla and Aaliyah James was a very good match, but also had some shenanigans with a guest referee. But it was Alejandra's heel promo at the end of the night that had us rolling. She had the crowd eating from the palm of her hand, and it was pretty damn cool hearing an uncensored promo with all the cussing. So that was special. Other highlights of the night was a 25-man battle royal that was actually a banger. And the most surprising moment was seeing the old man, the OG, 58-year-old Too Cold Scorpio, formerly known as Flash Funk in WWE back in the day. This man can still work in the ring, and he delivered an unbelievable spot off the top rope to win his match in a triple threat match with Low Key and Ninja Mac. At the end of the night, I just walked away and I was really impressed with how good these indie wrestlers are. And I can definitely see some of them getting looks in the major promotions like Ring of Honor, TNA, and even AEW, NXT, and of course the big times in WWE one day. So big ups to all that talent that did their thing that night. And ECW family, if you happen to come down here to the DFW area, this promotion is definitely a good one to check out. They have a few more shows to finish out the rest of the year, and we can't wait to hit the next one.
Yeah. You know what really scuffs my Timbs? There are no real managers in wrestling anymore. And I don't mean your tag team partner who comes with you for your little singles match. I don't mean Paul Ellering right now because whatever the hell he's doing. I mean a good old-fashioned suit and tie wearing, promo giving, attack you when the ref isn't looking ass manager. You know what really scuffs my Timbs? There are no more mouths of the South who used to jump up and down in celebration when his guy won. No brain to tell the crowd what idiots they are. Sans the GOAT Paul Heyman, WWE has lost its way in this department. You know what really scuffs my Timbs? Back in the day, a great manager could make or break a wrestler's career. Guys like Harvey Whippleman, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Paul Bearer, Jimmy Hart, Jim Cornette, and even Slick made the matches more interesting. You know what really scuffs my Timbs? They weren't really glorified cheerleaders. They were extensions of the wrestler's personality. They gave wrestlers who might not have been strong on the mic a voice and a presence that they couldn't achieve on their own. Look at Brock Lesnar. No one cared about Brock on the mic. Yes, he was the next thing smoking, but when Paul Heyman was next to him, you've got one of the most must-see acts in all of the entire company. You know what really scuffs my Timbs? There are plenty of wrestlers today who could desperately use a manager. So many talented wrestlers are getting pushed aside because they can't cut a promo that pops. Baron Corbin, Omos. You know what really scuffs my Timbs? A good manager could bring heat to the rivalry. Imagine the impact of bringing a heel manager who could drive storylines like back in the golden era. This isn't just nostalgia speaking, they are essential for giving depth to characters and elevating mid-card talent to the main event scene. We need more managers. Bring back the old school heat magnets. We need the Weasley managers that are getting involved in the matches, slapping at fans and building up the talent who deserve the spotlight. This is what scuffs my Timbs.
Welcome ECW fans, subscribers, and followers. This is a great opportunity for me to give you one of my favorite type of activities of all time. Now, we all know what Mount Rushmores are, and we know how difficult they are. You only can pick 4. You can't pick honorable mentions. You can't pick nothing like that. So there are so many ways you can do Mount Rushmore, from the past to the present, maybe sometimes in the future. But I have something very interesting. It's a golden era that a lot of people are not familiar with, and some people have totally forgotten. But this is one of my most favorite eras of all time in WWE history, outside of Attitude Era, which is the Ruthless Aggression Era. So today, I'm going to give you guys my Mount Rushmore of the top 4 Ruthless Aggression superstars of all time, in my opinion. Real simple. Number 1, you ain't got to start off with the man himself, who's getting ready to have his farewell tour real soon, John Cena. Basic thugonomics until hustle, loyalty, respect. Number 2, come on. He showed out tonight in his hometown. You can't leave out the Viper, the Apex Predator. But during the Ruthless Aggression Era, he created his own name, the Legend Killer, Randy Orton. And number 3, one of my favorite people. Y'all know I love Pyro. I used to love going to Raw, going to SmackDown, going to pay-per-views. When this man came out, the Pyro just kind of blew the building, the roof off the pin. So, Mr. Hollywood himself, outside The Rock, Mr. Marvel himself, Dave Bautista at number 3. And number 4, which was kind of tough. It was a neck and neck tie between these two individuals. And actually, they came kind of equal, in my opinion. But anytime there's a tiebreaker for that 4th spot, I have to go back and look and see who had the most impact and who made a big brain and name for themselves out of that. So for my number 4, the rated R superstar, Edge. So for those who wanted to know who that person was that was tied with him, I was going with JBL, John Bradshaw, Layfield. But Edge and the rated R superstar being created in that Ruthless Aggression era seemed more cut and edgy to me. So Edge takes the number 4 spot. So thank you for participating. Thanks for looking out. Again, Randy Orton, John Cena, Dave Bautista, and Edge are my top 4 Mount Rushmores for the Ruthless Aggression Era. Thank you for your time. I saw something this weekend, and I didn't get a chance to even dive into it myself, but apparently I think you saw the same thing I saw, and I believe you shared it with our group this week, man. And I felt like you had a lot to say and a lot to get off your chest on that. So, my brother, man, I'm very interested to hear, and I just laid the groundwork for you, man. It's just basically what's been going around the wrestling world and all through the internet is, Triple H and the booking of Black wrestlers are not set aside with fans, and I seen that you had a take on that too, man. So I'm interested to hear what you had to say on this.
Yeah, it's even when Jackie's on screen with us too, and we can't, obviously for time purposes, really go in depth and talk about it. But I first of all, I love Triple H for who he is, what he's done for the business. I'm giving him his flowers now, and then obviously then for what the groundwork, his accolades, and resume speaks for himself. He is the game. He is Triple H. I respect him, and got love for him. But and then obviously having the wherewithal to flip this industry on his head for the better has been nothing short of amazing and spectacular. So the work that he's doing, the merger, the wrestling has never been in a place that's been now. It's more popular, gaining, and you know this, bro. They're getting more fans every day with the product that they're putting out. But the booking of what really bothered me is, we have Bobby Lashley and MVP. Though that's my example. he says in his presser that he doesn't see color, and I get that. I agree from a standpoint of you just see the talent for who they are. You're not looking at, male or female. You just see talent. And can that talent write a story? Can that talent perform in the ring? Can that talent do what's needed for them to do, and to make it in this business? I agree in that sentiment. Where I'm having a hard time is the difference between him and Vince, and I'm bringing him up, bro. Is Vince still did business. You might have had personal differences with somebody, but he still did business and booked that person, whether their color. Vince was a Bobby Lashley guy, and Vince pushed him to the moon. Vince tried, yes. Bobby couldn't talk, but you still had MVP, you still had Sheldon Benjamin, you still had Cedric Alexander, you still had the groundwork to have one of the greatest African American factions, known to man, that could actually take the WWE by storm, and it didn't happen. And then you lost MVP, and all of that's personal. So Vince still did business, didn't really let you saw the documentary. He didn't let things get, personal things feelings get in the way of him making money. I think what I'm seeing is that, yes, I know Triple H is not racist. It's not about race, but I think that he has allowed personal feelings and vendettas to get in the way of how he's booking some of these talents. On the other side, Bianca Belair's, all of the, there's some black representation that's benefiting in NXT and obviously the main roster, but not enough black males. And I think the biggest fail, Griff, and I'll tap you in, bro. The biggest fail was how he handled MVP and how he handled Bobby Lashley. Now they're all elite, and much as I wish them the best, and now you're going to get what should have been done in WWE. Now that's going to be done in AEW. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it, but they're going to do an iteration of Hurt Business. You already know. So I haven't tuned in to AEW lately. I know what's happening. I know Jackie dropped something in the chat, but I'm not excited about it. I'd rather have it, to where, hey, the first home WWE. But that's my honest feelings, man. Just he's kind of letting personal vendettas, and he's not really putting that representation on the pedestal, and that they deserve. And it's kind of giving me some Vince tendency on, like, wow, like, okay, don't do that. But he's that's the only time he's disappointed me on. I believe that is some personal issues getting involved with him doing business. And what you think, bro?
I heard you. And I will say Hurt Business, I think, got destroyed in the Vince era in the regime before Triple H even came along.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was that.
Mm-hmm.
I hear what you're saying. I get exactly where you're coming from. But I always try to keep an open mind because we really don't know what's really going on behind the curtains on that end. And we know sometimes on the internet, things can get completely blown out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? A good example, let's just say, like, wherever they wanted to do, there was no opening for it, or there was nothing the writers can put in.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know. But from my standpoint as a black man, like, okay, had we like pushed the envelope and say, hey, put effort in and trying to see if this worked, or are we just saying, we don't do it because we got the bloodline, we got this going on, so this ain't gonna work. That I don't know what's going on behind that. What I will say is, from what I see today, and I put the picture in there intentionally for this moment that I sent in the chat like 2 hours ago. You had Trick, you had Bianca, you had Kalani, you had Jade and Jey Uso all in one ring. So I don't know if that was like a shot from HBK or Triple H saying, all y'all talking, like, look what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're working it out. And then I'm thinking of the mainstream music that they're going the direction. They are from the black, right? So I think it's one of the type of things where I look at everything, but it's like an iffy subject to talk about, because one thing I don't want to get into is the whole racial profile thing, like you said early on, right? But I even go to the Street Profits, for example. I think, to me, in my personal heart of hearts, this is just Griff talking. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but this is my reality. I think Montez Ford killed his single push run himself. Here's the reason why. Because when he said, I don't want to leave Dawkins. I don't want to break up this tag team. You pretty much just ripped up your whole single run now. So now this is probably why we're seeing the Street Profits getting dropped every single time, because the next plan they had, it pretty much got ripped up because Tez was afraid, if I go single, y'all gonna bury my boy, and then he gonna be out of the job, and I'm gonna feel some type of way. I want to stay here. So from my perspective, I feel, and again, I could be wrong, I just feel that could have killed a greater opportunity for him, because he was trying to, now I'm not saying he's wrong for that, because I don't know what his mind, his mental is, and how close, I mean, we know how close they are, but we don't know they real personal relationship, how they really feel heart to heart about it. You know what I'm saying? But in the all be all, man, I think they're slowly working on that. I believe they're watching everything's put out there. They're listening to our black culture. It's just like a wait and see. Now we got Jey Uso with the Intercontinental Belt. Trick Williams is the world champion. We got the women tag champions right now. You get what I'm saying? As far as the Hurt Business and thing go, I agree. But that was not under the Triple H umbrella. That was more on the Vince McMahon umbrella than it was the Triple H one. So that's the only refutal I have on that, is that there could have been something different. Again, I don't know the conversation with Lashley, the MVP that they had with Triple H behind the scenes, but we just take their word for it. We still rooting for them, like any black wrestlers, no matter what brand promotion they're on. We're still rooting for it, and just hoping that whoever the promoter and booker are in those promotions, they look on the other side and look at our culture even more to say, hey, we're not just skilled and talented, but we can definitely bring more money into this too, just like the rest of the people do. That makes sense.
Yeah. Great insight, my brother. Like we always say on the show, and even with Jackie, just, hey, we're making progress, still work to do. But yeah, thanks for that. It was just something that I thought about, and I thought about his, a funny story about Triple H. When he did the storyline with Booker T saying, "Hey, you're not good enough to be," when they kind of had that little race, that race perspective in that storyline back in the day. That's what kind of got my gears grinding a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. I know he's really not like that, but just a little something to think about. But no, man, as long as he knows he's got work to do. That was awesome to see tonight, NXT. Hey, for those who watching, cool, totally cool moment tonight with the black representation on the show. So, but yeah, thanks again, my brother. And let's wrap this dark matchup, and let's get back with our brother Jackie. All right.
Yes, sir, man.
All right, welcome back, fellas. Let's go on to one of our favorite segments now. Let's have a lightning round. We'll put 3 minutes on the clock. I'll give you some topics, and you tell me what you think. AJ Styles returns and departs just as fast as he got there. Thoughts and prayers to him. Griff, what are your thoughts here?
Felt bad because when it happened, instantly I knew he was hurt. I knew it wasn't going to work right away. Because first thing I looked at was the medical. I looked at the referee, and I looked at Melo's eyes, and it wasn't to work, man. I feel bad. You come back, and then this happens. So prayers are up. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious that's gonna keep him out for a long duration of time, and hope we see him come back, and finish it out.
Chelsea Green and Mia Yim's dumpster match entertains the masses on SmackDown. Coach, did it entertain you?
Yes. Even in Chelsea's loss, that's damn entertaining. Everything. And I didn't realize, funny, I didn't realize it was a call back to the old, hardcore matches, style back in the day. So that was awesome that they brought that back. But yeah, everything about that was good. And then you have Mia Yim actually getting popped, and hopefully she can get some momentum from this. So everybody wins in this situation. Yeah, damn good entertainment.
I hope they both do well. They both do well.
Yep.
Tungaloa climbs the ladder. Shout out to him, B Dix. In what turned out to be a great ladder match. Are you satisfied with the results, Griff?
I am. At the end of the day, y'all know who I was rooting for. I was rooting for the Street Profits all day long, and they was inches and close away. But I like how the match was produced, because it made it seem like they were really going to win it. And then all of a sudden, here come the bloodline, and not surprised by that. It is what it is. But unfortunately, I got rid of Tonga on my fantasy last week, and I got screwed. So it is what it is, man. Bloodline still tag champs.
Brett screwed Brett. You screwed yourself.
Yeah, you did.
Myself.
Raw moves to 2 hours. Does this make for a better television show, Coach?
I actually felt shortchanged last night, and I wanted more. I'm not used to it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, guys. 3 hours, yes, with better content, with more talent on all shows. Raw is a staple 3 hour show. It should never have changed. And then obviously the major storylines still come out of Raw. We all know that, but no, I don't like this at all. Hopefully, they can turn the corner and give us more quality within that time. But no, I'm a fan of 3.
Coach, we know you want the breakup to happen, but are you siding with Woods amongst their turmoil here?
I'm siding with Xavier is an asshole in this situation, and I love it because now all of a sudden he's chasing all these titles. When you was carrying a trombone for 10 years and talking about and then wearing a unicorn, you wasn't worried about the Intercontinental Championship then. So now why are you worried about it now? I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm ready for this heel turn and I need it sooner than later. So come on, Xavier. I'm waiting for the Kofi Kingston throw punch anytime now. And let's get it.
Sexy Red has been seen on WWE TV more than Taylor Swift on the NFL. How do you feel about this, Griff?
No.
My facial expression says it all. I don't know if y'all notice it, and I love it. But whoever is producing and calling the shots, I love, like, every time she gets a moment, they figure out she's finna go a whole different direction, and they literally go to a video package or to a backstage segment just to cut her off. So, good job, WWE. I'm assuming y'all brought her back because it was in St. Louis, in her hometown. But good God almighty, let's move forward and put that person back in the rearview mirror.
Get her out of here.
Because we on a 2 hour show right now temporarily to Netflix air begins in January, and that's too much time with her on the screen. We need some WWE content. Not no Sexy Red content. Sorry, ladies. I don't care. Bring smoke. I don't care.
That was the best opening Raw has had since a Stephanie McMahon open. What do you mean? CM Punk and Rollins inch closer as Rollins sends some shots and CM Punk goes back to nurse his wounds. Do you think they pay this off at Mania, Griff?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have to. And when CM Punk returns, I'm seeing CM Punk going to come back as the heel in this situation when Seth least expected, and it's going to be a surprise return when he costs him a match. Take off the hoodie. Now we got us a show coming up for Mania. Let's go.
Did Gunther finally put Sami Zayn away, Coach?
Yes. 1,000 times, yes. Hopefully, now we can focus on bigger and well. You got this ugly crown jewel belt that's coming up that they fighting for here in a month. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, it's time for Gunther and Cody. But yeah, for that ugly championship, I'm here for it. And then obviously he might get Punk at War Games. So
okay.
Yeah, who knows? But I'm glad I don't have to see Sami Zayn anymore.
Griff, 30 seconds on any topics Coach hit.
Oh, yeah, I'm going right to the Gunther thing. First of all, I was waiting for this Gunther and Cody match because I was thinking they're going to focus Bloodline on War Games. They need to bring back the whole Raw champion versus SmackDown champion to Survivor Series, but it seemed like they're putting it to Crown Jewel. I've been waiting for Gunther and Cody so Gunther can go over Cody. Gunther makes sense in this situation because Cody was the one that threw him out the 23 Rumble and eliminated him in the 24 Rumble. So Gunther is on a revenge tour with this belt. And also, the Prophet want to make one prediction real quickly to Crown Jewel. Tiff Stratton will cash in on Nia Jax and Liv Morgan, and she will win the belt and the Crown Jewel belt. I'm calling right now.
Okay. So we might want to run this back, Jackie, in a month when this show. Okay.
We will clip that one. Coach, 30 seconds. Anything Griff hit?
I actually see Seth Rollins being the heel in that feud. Just due to his reaction when he came back. Seth has way more animosity built up for CM Punk than Punk does him. Yeah, they both don't like each other, but obviously we know Seth hates Punk more. So I can actually see another hoorah of Seth Rollins being a heel going into Mania, in that feud, just to kind of, a little a swerve.
Can I add one little thing to that, Coach?
Sure.
Because of who these two are, no matter who the face or heel are, they both gonna be faces. They both gonna be heels.
True.
Either way.
Either way.
That's
they
my
both gonna be
thought.
hated either way.
That's my thought. As WWE continues to evolve, we're starting to go away from the comic book world of this guy has to save us versus this guy is the person that we
Good
dislike.
versus evil.
Yeah, it's
Right.
going away from that in the sense that now, like, I'm rooting for this person no matter what they are, heel, face, this, that, or the other. I'm rooting for that group because I like that group. So that's a good thing about wrestling right now, which is why we always say wrestling is cool because it keeps us on our toes. Speaking of being on our toes, Bad Blood just happened recently. So let's go ahead and go to the main event and go match by match really, really quickly here and discuss the aftermath of Bad Blood. Speaking of blood, Hell in a Cell gave us a lot of it as both members lose over 1.5 gallons of blood. What are our thoughts towards the Hell in a Cell match? Coach, let's start with you, brother.
So you mean all that corn syrup and that red dye that was in there?
He's not a believer, clearly, ladies and gentlemen.
Blade, you got to find a blade. But no, Jackie, it was, we had waited 10 months for that. You know how I felt about that. That feud was near and dear to my heart, and it was great to see a payoff in that fashion. Hell in a Cell is back. I think that needs to be the match to set the standard from the rest of the way out. If you want to get in there, it better be a damn feud, and y'all better be at each other's throats for a long time, and it has to make sense. The story has to make sense, and it has to make sense for the talent that's going to go in there to do it. So yeah, bravo to see the Drew, CM Punk. We know what direction Punk is going in now. Curious to see where Drew, after he gets all those beads out of his mouth, and he returns back from damn near breaking his back on the steps, going for that Claymore. But yeah, it gave us everything. They told the story. They gave us the action. It didn't need, and nobody need to be thrown off the cell for it to still be spectacular. And that's how you know you got something gold. But yeah, bravo, 5 stars around the board for that match for sure.
Griff?
Whether you hate CM Punk or you hate Drew McIntyre, if you do not gain any respect from both of those gentlemen from that match, then you're not really a wrestling fan, period. That's all I have to say when it comes to those two. But the rivalry ended. I enjoyed the match. I did have this match to like main event and be the end, but it really made sense for it to kick off as time went on and how it impacted the crowd and got it grooved up for the whole entire show. So that way they can lick their wounds in the back and watch the rest of the show while they was hurt. But other than that, man, it was a great match. Cole and Corey, did a phenomenal job to edge the story on even more as it went to that final chapter. I was on the edge of my seat because it could have went either way. You know what I'm saying? To me, it made sense for Punk to win, but there's a few moments that Drew could have stole and went away from it, man. But great show for them, man. And I know we pretty much going to miss it here in the next few weeks. Not to see them going back and forth on TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was an interesting one, man. I like you said, Coach, I've been a fan of this feud the entire time that it's been going on. It's kept us intrigued, even when they weren't in the ring. They did a great job of keeping the heat going with just promos, and to get the payoff that they got with this last match or with this third match, it was great to see because all the hard work and thought that was put into this rivalry, into this feud. It wasn't just like, we're trying to see who's better. It was some hatred here based on some comedy events or some past events, and that made for good television. You like when the hate is real. You like when it's not forced on you. We're not like forced to like this person. You didn't necessarily have to like Punk because he was the good guy. You liked Punk because you liked Punk. And like we said earlier, WWE is evolving into that type of world, and it's good to see. And as you can see, like we talked about Seth Rollins coming up next, that's pure hatred. That's not, let's see who's better. That's just, I'm going to retire you, which is what he says. So WWE is in a good spot, and that was I would say the catalyst to seeing some better feuds outside of the bloodline, outside of the cinema world that they've created now.
Yep.
Let's go to
It's good.
Nia and Bailey. Did this one entertain you, Griff?
It did. I actually liked this match because it kind of was like watching SummerSlam all over again, but it seemed like it was a little bit better, all because Bailey had a few edges where she could have like won the spot, of course, and things. And then I also like the spot that they got my girl Lady Ref Jess involved and getting Pancake in there too, so got her involved a little bit in the story as well. So that kind of like sparked some things up and everything. But man, it was a great match and some great spots in there, man. Like I said, one of my favorite spots was when Lady Jess got pancaked and got involved. But Bailey held her own, man, and tossed Nia around a couple times. But you know, Queen Nia still retains, and let's see what's next.
Coach?
I didn't realize the chemistry they've had even in their NXT days. They keep kicking it up a notch every time they're in the ring. So the familiarity was there, and you can tell this time was something different. The flavor. Nia Jax has had a hell of a 2024. So I'm giving her flowers. She's improved in all facets of her game. The thing that I like, guys, is the little, hey, man of 100 holes, love this. Like, hey, put a little submission flavor in there, just, working on legs and just something that we've never seen from her. So that was an added piece that I liked, hey, showing that she can change it up. And, her and Bailey, they did, like I said, they upped the bar, and naturally you knew Tiffy Time was going to get involved because where the story is going. But yeah, very, and then the funny part, when Nia got up, she got up like the Undertaker, like, what you about to do? I know you're getting ready to cash. So that was I think that was a shout out to Mark Calloway. The way she rose up like, you ain't gonna cash in on me, but yeah, they need to get to this feud sooner or later. But yeah, you're right, Griff. What you said, I think Crown Jewel might be the time to do it because you need her with that going into Rumble season. Well, yeah, Survivor Series going into the new year.
I was gonna say the Hell in a Cell match or the rivalry previously was definitely a candidate for like rivalry of the year, right? And I think like you said, Coach, the year that Nia has had has definitely set her up to be like superstar of the year because she's done all the same things that kind of Gunther has done this year. They've kind of had like the same trajectory when it comes to winning those two titles. First with the King of the Ring, and then with King and Queen of the Ring, and then winning the title at SummerSlam, and now doing what they're doing at Crown Jewel. They kind of mirrored each other, and she's done a phenomenal job, not only like on the mic, but in the ring as well. And this is a different Nia, and we noticed like she was moving better. She had, like you said, Coach, she had some different moves, she had some different holds that we hadn't seen in a long time. So it was nice to see. It was nice to actually watch her match. It wasn't a cringe moment where you're like covering your eyes because you know somebody's going to get hurt.
Right.
So it was nice to like actually like enjoy watching her wrestle. And I think Bailey was the perfect person to do that with because Bailey herself can wrestle. So it made for an all-encompassing great match. So that was definitely one of my top on this card. The more kind of comical match of the night was the Liv and Rhea world title. Is it world title?
Yeah, world.
I never remember. Yeah. I try to remember. I'm gonna write it down.
Nia has a women's.
I'm gonna write it down.
Nia has a women's. Liv has a world.
And worlds. Got it. I'm gonna forget it next week. Bet. Here we go. What was our thoughts on the Shark Cage match that put Dom above the ring? Coach, where were you? What were your feelings here?
I just didn't. I didn't like them. It seemed clunky to me. It didn't come together. Anything involving Dominic Mysterio is going to be some shenanigans anyway. So y'all know it's going to be a crock of shit. Anything with Dirty Dom involved. So I knew that aspect was, that element was there. Going into the Shark Cage, but I can't expect Liv to have a 4 or 5 star classic at this point with Rhea because we know who's going to win that fight. If it's just them two, just in a wrestling match. So I'm accepting the fact that Liv is a chicken shit heel, and which is why she still has it. Why she's gonna have this. I was dead wrong on my prediction. You guys were right. I was wrong. It's best for business for her to, with this approach, for her to have it and keep Rhea as a chaser. I knew when Rhea was going around playing games and playing pinata, with Dom, that I knew. I was like, okay, I know she's definitely losing now, but and then obviously Raquel coming in, that everything was clunky. I think there's reports out there saying that wasn't the way it's supposed to go down. She missed something. So yeah, just the match, it was clunky. I didn't like the match at all, and definitely didn't like the outcome.
Great.
Yeah. So I don't know if they run it back or not. That's the thing that's crazy. Where does Rhea go from here? Yeah. What you think, Griff?
Well, all y'all Liv Morgan fans, y'all strap your seatbelts because I waited patiently for this night. I stayed silent for this night. Coach, I'm gonna clarify this real quick for you, before I go in and get this smoke. Raquel came out a little bit too early, and I guess when she came out early, the ref saw her. So somebody in the back must have told the referee to call a disqualification. So they really didn't go to finish. So Raquel plan
So
was
she botched the entrance.
pretty much
Coming
she was
into
supposed
her.
she was supposed to attack Rhea from behind, roll her in the ring, and put Liv on top of her 1, 2, 3. But because the ref saw it and she came out too early, it would have been bad. So they had to call a disqualification. That's what happened. Now, to Liv Morgan in this match. First of all, I was pretty much not interested. I was waiting for the main event to come at this point. Again, this was like a whole human pinata playing with Dom type match versus you getting to your grit. The thing is, man, again, this ain't nothing against Liv Morgan or a title run. I'm over it because give it to somebody else and just continue the story with Rhea, Dom, Rodriguez, Judgment Day at this point, because we all know every match Liv's going to have is going to be some disqualification, some shenanigans, or somebody going to get involved. Until she steps up, face and challenge someone and beat them fair and square, all her title reign is just tainted to me. It's whack. Again, it's nothing against her, but I think they can continue this story without her in this belt. And I just wasn't really impressed and entertained with this match at all.
I'm going to disagree with you, Griff. I don't think it's tainted at all, and here's why. I think we're putting Liv's reign up to that of a face reign, and we have to realize she is a heel. So how do you get a heel over? You make people hate you by cheating. You make people hate you by putting yourself around people that you already don't like. Dom, you surround yourself with people who can protect you. What's baby name? What's Raquel? Thank you. Jeez, my brain doesn't work.
What's baby name?
But you put Raquel around her, and now you can protect her so that we know she's a smaller champion, but she's also a good heel right now because of the things that she's doing. And I understand, this is not what I wanted. I wanted her to square up with whomever she's going against. Well, she's not going to do that. She's 5'2", and we all know she's going to get her ass beat by whomever steps up to her, except Kaden Carter and all of them, right? So if you're going to put her in the main event of the women's side of things, you have to make it so that it's believable she's going to win. Well, she's going to win by either Dom helping her or Raquel helping her or the rest of the Judgment helping her. And so I think we have to give credit to WWE because they know how to protect their champions in these types of situations. And I know it's not what we want, but we got to give WWE some credit sometimes, because I know we fantasy book things and we're we want it now and we want to do it this way, when in actuality we have to trust that they're doing a great job with their show. I don't know.
No, that's facts.
No, you hit the hill. Like I said, I have nothing against Liv Morgan.
Sure.
To me, again, it's just, and again, you have a valid point with the title. It's just, for me, I think, because for me, every title reign Liv Morgan had, even when she's a face, it's always been slip on the banana peel or some kind of weird thing. I just want to see this one time, heel or face, it don't matter. Just win a match fair and square, and then this will be like out for me. That's just me. But your point is valid. I definitely get the whole protecting. No. Not right now. It's not.
It ain't gonna happen. She 5'2" on a
now.
Day.
Especially with Raquel back.
Exactly, right?
Now, can I ask a question real quick, though, about this real quickly before we move? Now, with this going on, does this somehow insert Becky Lynch back in the picture for a return?
Nah, no, you have, nah, absolutely not.
Oh,
No,
please no.
absolutely not. You have too much storyline to tell with Rhea, Raquel, and Liv. Just
Yeah,
that alone,
those three right there. Hey, that's money right there with those
yeah,
three.
just
I
that
just wanted his
alone
reaction,
is
and
enough
I got
storyline.
exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, it's like please no. Nah, you got
Absolutely.
it. No Becky.
I'm not even the Becky
I
hater,
just
and I'm
wanted
not
your
okay with
reaction,
that.
Coach.
All right,
I
let's
just want
move
to see his
on.
reaction. I thought he was gonna take the hat off.
No.
Let's move on to the
All right,
last
go ahead.
match of the night. We'll talk about the Bloodline saga as it continues and continues and continues. First of all, when
Bravo.
Solo's music hit and you got Jacob Fatu getting his little dance on as the music is hitting, you know you're in for a
Yeah.
little special. So
Yeah.
this match, I would love to hear your thoughts here, gentlemen. Griff, let's go to you first, brother. What are your thoughts on the Bloodline saga as it is?
Whew. I love the entrances. I mean, the HBCU band hanging out Cody, the orchestra again with Roman. You know, it was a moment for me because if you guys caught on to it, this was the first time in 4.5 years we seen Roman walk out to a match without the championship gold. So that was definitely number one. And like, wow, like we're seeing this dude coming out without the gold. The match
Yeah, no
itself
one's
with the
wearing.
length that it went through, it was good, man. It was just good to see all four of those incorporated in the match. To see Jacob and Cody, to see Jacob and Roman, and see Roman and Cody kind of look at each other, play with the crowd a little bit. You know, the fans getting in saying "F you Solo." Like everything was perfect. Commentators all involved, but then you know the end and the finish, man. You know, one of my other people I predicted that was coming. It was good to see my guy Jimmy return.
Coach?
So this, yeah, I enjoyed it. It lived up to its billing. It lived up to what we expected it to do, and what it did was draw the battle lines. Obviously, before the final, you know who came out there. It allowed us to say, okay, you know who's gonna the chemistry. You notice that Roman and Jacob still were separate. You know, still didn't battle each other through the match, and I thought that was great. Like keep them away from each other as long as possible because that has potential to make more money than him and Solo going at it for sure. So it was good to see the battle lines drawn, who had the chemistry with who, and then obviously, Jimmy finally getting brought back into the equation, which was needed, fresh, got the pop that it deserved. But this is just obviously battle lines are drawn. Now, I think now we can say with confidence that KO when we look to War Games, it's looking like Bloodline and Bloodline. Jackie and Griff. That's where it's looking like, and as it should, because this storyline, this basically was the start of many. Guys, you think about it. Since we've started this podcast, we talked about how many iterations of matches that we can see in this Bloodline ordeal, and we get in. And I think this was the first match to kind of springboard us into those possibilities. So yeah, I'm excited, and yeah, it's all up here. It's all up from here, and it's gonna be classic. It's gonna be great TV. Yeah, but it was the match delivered.
Jimmy coming back to a face pop was amazing to me because who would have expected that a few years back? The man was looking for a high five for a whole year before he got hurt and didn't get one. And now he's coming back to a whole pop. So good for him. Glad to see him back. This match definitely progressed the Bloodline storyline because who knows what's next as Dwayne comes back and throws up 1, 2, 3 for some reason. Any thoughts there, Griff, on what that meant?
I took 3 things out of that. 1, 2, 3, I'm out. 1, 2, 3, triple threat. Or 1, 2, 3, as in Jimmy, Cody, and Roman. So the third one was more intriguing because I'm the final boss, and just a few months ago, we were supposed to face each other at WrestleMania. Then we went through these whole Cody crybabies and worked out something to team up to get rid of this dude. And now you in the ring with this dude who I can't stand and who I hate. What the heck is going on? You know what I'm saying? So I think the look and the eyebrow was to Roman like, "What are you doing?" And the cutthroat was to Cody like, "Now I'm pissed. Now I'm pissed. Now I'm coming." So those are my three takeaways for that 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Cody, I think Cody was on. I don't know if he was on Pat McAfee or he was somewhere, and he mentioned how the expectations are. Yeah, it was Pat McAfee talking about WrestleMania, and it's going to be bigger than what we think. And we can only, that we can only allude to that, the fact of the triple threat is coming, and it makes sense from a standpoint of protecting Rock. Obviously, if he wants to perform at his highest level, it does need to involve other people helping him in the match. So I can see, from a basic formula and standpoint, okay, why this could work. But yeah, it's definitely has beef now, and of course, he dropping his final boss promos afterwards, saying final boss 100, 100 times, and getting back into his groove, cutting his promos on social media. But yeah, he's mad at Roman. Definitely, damn sure ain't got nothing for Cody, because they still need to pick up where they left off with the watch or whatever, the significance of all that before he took off. So he's got beef with both of them now. Yep. As he should.
It'll be interesting to see how this kind of plays itself out, as before when they were doing the bloodline versus bloodline thing at WrestleMania, it was more about the respect of, this is our family and we're going to battle this out to see who was ever. But now it's like, you're teaming with my enemies. So how do I feel about that?
Yeah, can't do that.
It was just a couple months prior that we was whooping his ass with a belt, talking about forget the cut it part, right? So like, now how do I feel about you teaming up together and y'all celebrating with each other in the ring and stuff? I still got beef. Let me say that, right? I still got problems with this whole situation. And so it's intriguing to see how they're actually going to play off of that. And if we even go that route, or does Rock say like, all right, this is fine? Or the thing that we're not thinking about, is The Rock the puppet master of Solo? Is he the one that's kind of calling the shots from his side? So does he join over there? And now Cody, Roman, and whomever have a lot more to deal with than what they originally thought. But the great thing about this, man, is we got a long way to go before y'all think this bloodline game is over, bro. Because
fourth inning,
a lot happening with them.
So, to your point, Jackie,
yes, sir.
about the Rock and Solo, I want to point this out in the match too. Then I'm gonna go to Rock and Solo real quick. I want to talk about the biggest moment of the night, and in that match that happened in that match to me. And I don't know if you guys read lips, but y'all remember when Roman used to always tell the Usos like, "What are you guys doing? Like, I don't want to call the shots. I call the playbook." You know what I'm saying? He looked at Jimmy and was like, "You call that play?" And Jimmy looked at him and said, "Yeah, Uso, I called that play. I got you."
Yeah.
And when they gave that hug,
that was it.
That was the start of, and we ain't rushing it. That was the start of, we about to see the reforming of the old school bloodline soon to be coming. That was just the start there. But back to the final boss and Solo. Solo and the bloodline was going up the crowd when The Rock came out. There was a video footage where Jacob was confused, like, what is going on? And Solo looked at Jacob and said, "Don't worry. It's part of the plan. Let's go." So to your point, Jackie, there is a possibility that The Rock is controlling or in charge of that bloodline and working with Solo. Now that Solo told Jacob, "No, don't worry about it. It's part of the plan."
Yeah, like I said, there's so many ways that this can go. So I don't know, man. The Rock coming back doesn't just automatically align him with Roman and Jimmy. He very well could be on the other side. To your point about Jimmy, like I said, Jimmy gets the face pop that he always wanted from this side of things. So it'll be interesting to see a face bloodline. You know what I mean? Like, how does that look? How do they carry themselves? Right? How do they speak? What does that promo sound like? It's interesting to see. It will be interesting to see is what I mean. Excuse me. And you know, Cody's
gonna happen. So
Cody's dealing with his own things, right? So Cody has to deal with somebody who beat him up on social media. Ain't that crazy? They didn't even air it.
Overdue.
they haven't even addressed it yet, which is crazy. This man Cody got jumped. Like what? What gangland
What
stuff
had
was
happened
this?
was
Go
what had
ahead,
happened.
Coach.
See what had happened.
Bro,
No, man. I think Jackie, you talked about it. I think an episode, a while back on the show and talking about the realism. We talked about realism, right? When we talked about where the business is now, and yeah, all of that is that was good. That was something that didn't need to be in the ring because everybody saw it. Everybody sees it coming at that point. I was like, yeah, this is different and this is great. And this is the perfect way to get to turn KO heel by obviously this action, and it only have to be in front of us fans. So I thought that was brilliant. This was 2 months brewing, and especially it was been stewing, especially ever since they decided to do this match. So good job for KO. I'm happy. I finally got what I was asking for the last couple months. Yep.
You know, what's funny is I watched the press conference afterwards, and I think after Damian Priest got off, Triple H came up because I think Cody was supposed to be the one come up next. So Triple H came up. It was like, yeah, I'm stepping in because Cody Rhodes is not unable to attend and unable to make it. So at that time, I didn't know what was going on. And then right before you know it, I had a couple of dings, and a couple of people shared you know those content creators, they be on it, bro, like just like that. So they shared this footage, and I'm like, what is this? And then I looked at it, I was like, that's why Cody went at the press conference. He was getting tossed around.
Cody out here getting his ass beat. That's what he was.
But what I took out of that was
well deserved.
They kind of did this a little bit back in the day, but I think this could be a new direction WWE is going, where, especially with the 2-hour length of shows now, that they don't have to have different segments on the show. They can happen in the social media or the internet world while we sleeping, or somewhere at the airport while we just waking up, or we at work. All of a sudden, oh snap! Like they get attacked at McDonald's. Like what? So I think that's probably a new direction they're going. If so, they did tease it well, and waiting to see how this is going to be addressed come Friday.
I think this just further hits on the realism that they're trying to create, right? I think they're now using the world that they live in, the kayfabe world that they live in. They're using it better in this social media world that we live in, right? To your point, like you said, Griff, the social media people, those content creators, they're on top of it. As soon as something happens, they're sending out their information or whatever it may be. And so I think WWE is figuring out how to better use the environment that they're in. So we're going to see more realism, more things like you said that happen like this. To your point, because there's a less time on the show, but also because the world that we're in now, everybody has a camera on their stuff. So why not use that to their advantage? And why not make it as kayfabe as possible by not addressing it? Raw, they was like, everybody got cut off whenever they went to say something about it. I think they're doing a great job from a production standpoint as of the last year or so. And this just goes right into that. Now you're adding the storytelling to go with it. So WWE's on the up, man. WWE is on the up, and that's it's good for us because it's good television for us to watch. So I got a question for you, and this is the question of the night. What's next? Give me 1 minute. Give me your 1 minute fantasy booking of what's getting ready to happen in WWE. 1 minute on the clock. Who wants to start?
I got
go.
I'm the man. I'm love to see a heel turn. Naomi's been cheerleading too hard for Bayley, and I would love to see Naomi turn on Bayley and revive her career. Yeah, I know the glow gimmick is there, but she needs it because she just beat Tiffany Stratton, but she needs to head in a different direction. Next, I would actually love to see. Obviously, we're going to get Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. That's inevitable. I'm staying on SmackDown. Carmelo and LA Knight, but with Carmelo winning the belt.
Okay.
So I would love to see that. Trying to think there, and yeah, that sticks out of my head right now. Griff, I can tap you in.
Well, it's just a matter of time. I'll keep saying this till the real queen shows up in return. For me, but
Okay.
somewhere down the line, not right away, but once Damage Control get healthy and Asuka returns, I would like to see Dakota Kai go on her singles run and get out the group, and then I would like to see Julia added to that group with a strong Damage Control to keep that faction going.
Jeez, that's a lot of women over there that can fight, but I'm here for it. I'm with you on that one. My fantasy book coming up, and I hate to say it because I'm not really one of his fans, but I also see it coming down the horizons, is Damian Priest actually wins the Royal Rumble. Prepare yourselves for it because it's coming. I'm just throwing that one out there. I think it's coming. I'm not a fan of his. I'm sorry. I can't get with the gimmick, but I just foresee WWE putting that man in the position to move forward, I think.
He's got terrible music too, so yeah.
It sounds just like the original Judgment Day stuff.
Music.
Yeah. I'm not here for it.
Judgment, yeah.
But all right, boys, this one's been fun, man. Hopefully entertaining at the same time. So let's go ahead and get on out of here. Coach, let the people know where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram at Coach Montay24.
Griff, let the people know where they can find you.
Instagram, IG, GriffNation84, and also on X, formerly known as Twitter, CGriff84.
You can find me, Jackie Miles, on Instagram and X at Jackie Miles42. Find B Dix on Instagram at B_Dix. Follow us on all social media. You can find us on X at Ebony Championship Wrestling and on Instagram at Ebony Championship Wrestling. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell so that you are notified every time that the boys hit your screen. This has been fun tonight, boys. This is Ebony Championship Wrestling. Signing off. But, Coach, let them know.
We never tapping out. Good night, y'all. Peace.
Not once. We'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a good night.